Good evening. Welcome to Tuesday, November 24th, 2020, regular Selectmen's meeting. We have Selectmen Noah Cobb and Ed Guinier with us right now. Mark Pendergast will not be with us. I haven't heard anything from Ken, so.
There he is. Whoop.
Here comes Ken.
And there's Ken.
And we have the town manager and the town clerk with us tonight. Please stand with me and salute the flag.
Allegiance to the flag
of
the United States of America,
and to the republic
for which
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Welcome, everybody. Our first order is, the agenda is the approval of our November 10th meeting minutes.
Make a motion that we approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
Any further discussion? If not, I will call the roll. Is Ken?
Yes.
Noah?
Yes.
Myself is a yes, and Ed was not here, so I'm assuming he abstains. There's three. Make sure I sign those. I forgot them last time. We have no public comments tonight. We have no hearings. Reports of committees, we have none. We are going to try to do the fire video and the police video tonight. So Terry, if you are ready, see if we can make it work this time.
So I've been asked to give a little department update, and I've got some slides presented. We'll start off with calls for service to give you an idea of where we are as far as our activity. Our calls for service, for the most part, are about the same as they've been between the year 2019 and 2020. There is a variation in what we are seeing in motor vehicle traffic, and we attribute that basically to the issues with COVID. When COVID first hit us, there was a reduction in the amount of traffic that we were seeing in town regarding commuting traffic, and then throughout the summertime, people vacationing to our state. So if you add the difference between the reduction we saw in motor vehicle and from year 2019 to 2020, the statistics are virtually the same, only a handful of variation in a couple areas. The graphs that I've showed you, you'll see again, I've got years 19 and 20, 2019, 2020. The trends run just as they have from year to year. The only variation you're going to see again is in motor vehicle. I can tell you that as the COVID issues have worked its way through society, and we're seeing people going back to work, people becoming more regular in their travel, our motor vehicle is back up to where it normally is. And again, our calls for service, other than that, are essentially the same. So very little impact as far as calls for service once we factor out the motor vehicle stuff. Our staffing, fortunately, our full-time positions are all full. We have been full for about 3 years with full-time staff. We do have a few part-time positions open. We currently only have one part-time reserve officer who actually is a full-time certified person, but only works here part-time for us. across the country and in the state of Maine, hiring law enforcement officers has become very difficult. There's a number of reasons for that. But fortunately, again, for us, our staffing full-time is, we're up to date full and still looking for a few part-time employees. Let's talk about training for a moment. Last month, our department tried a new process of how we went about meeting our mandated training requirements. Typically, in years past, we've done training in small segments, picking away as the calendar year went along, making sure that at the end of the calendar year, we'd met all of what we needed. This year, we combined our training segments into what we called a training day. We were fortunate enough here in the police department to have certified instructors in many different specialty areas. So on that training day, we were able to become recertified in TASER, ASP, Spike Mat, OC, and CPR AED. Again, typically those were done 1 or 2 at a time. In this new setting, we did it all in a large chunk of time. It was well received by the guys. It was a mix of classroom and hands-on training. I will say that we were able to use the new Sally port that you'll see later on for some of the training. It came in very, very handy. It was just a nice environment for us to be able to do some of our training in. So again, I think I'll be using the training day situation in the future. It reduces the amount of overtime that I use. The officers liked it, and it ensures that we have all our training done by the end of the year. Accreditation. We've been working on accreditation for several years now. We were very close to being able to submit our paperwork for having the first phase of the evaluation process. And once again, we were slowed down a little bit because of COVID. The accreditation process in the state really was put on hold for about 6 months. It's just recently begun to open back up again. So we're on the cusp of having the first segment of the evaluation process, which is, it's an off-site. They actually come in remotely and check our file systems, the way we keep our records, trainings, things like that. All of the tangible, physical record-keeping side of it is done remotely. That would be phase 1. And then phase 2 is actually a physical evaluation of the agency itself. The renovations that we had done recently, the Sally Port in our new garage, helped a great deal in us reaching the accreditation side of the way that we are going to be required to do things to maintain accreditation. In the end, what we'll have is we'll be using what is considered the best practices in law enforcement. It will give the town a little reduction in liability, and again, it's just a more professional environment for the police officers and for the community itself. So we're excited to be really at the very end stages of becoming accredited. I have included on accreditation, I did include a slide that is really, it's a brochure that is put out by the Maine Chiefs on the accreditation process. It gives you a really quick synopsis. If you have questions, most of the questions are answered just if you take a quick look at the brochure again that's been attached to this. And the renovations, you'll see shortly, BCT has been very nice and come over and done a walkthrough of our new additions to the police department. The garage, Sally Port, and booking area have come out really, really well. The outside appearance of the building is tremendous. The new entryway that we have really delineates as to how people get into our building. There was a time where we would find people wandering around the exterior of our building trying to figure out exactly how to get in. But now we have a clearly marked entrance. The garage itself is in size larger than most Sally Ports you'll see, even in larger police stations across the state. So we are very, very appreciative of what the community has done for us in that respect. We are still on the early stages of actually using it. There's a few things that are being finished as far as the renovation process. And we're really excited. Again, we've used it a little bit, but it isn't in, we're not having had the ability to use it on a daily basis yet, and that's coming soon. But again, we do want to thank the community for providing us with that new space. Good morning. I just want to take the opportunity to show you the new Sallyport garage that has been renovated. It used to be the old gymnasium, and as you can see, it looks a lot different than it used to be. What we're at now is the rear section of the Sallyport. The officers are going to drive in this back door area here. This would be the back of the police department. And we'll use this area for a transition period between the car and our booking area, which we'll see in a few minutes. Off to the side of the gymnasium here, I have two rooms. Both of these rooms were here. Again, it's not new construction, it was renovated, so when you see the spaces, the space was already here. This room here is going to end up being a small locker room where the guys will keep their gear that they use daily on their shift work. So they'll have their bag full of reports and things like that ready for them when they come into work. The next room over, I'll be able to bring you inside of that, is they have a shower slash bathroom, which we were in need of a shower at the police department. That's one thing that we've been trying to check off the list of things that needed to get accomplished, and this actually helped us do that. This is the new bathroom shower that was renovated for us. And as you can see, it's well-used space. It's actually a large area for a bathroom shower. But again, this accomplishes one of the things that we needed to have done for accreditation. So we're at the front end of the Sallyport. And again, I had mentioned that the officers will drive in from the back side of the PD, and we're going to exit through the front. It's the smoothest way for us to transition from one point to the other. I'll mention this area here. This is really nothing more than a fire exit. It's an exit door. It goes towards the fire department side. That would be the new fire department. Again, this was more of a last-minute thing. The door was there, but they've actually put a sidewalk up to it. It looks like it might be something that would use daily, but really, in essence, it's just a fire exit. Next, we're going to take a look at our booking area. Again, this is going to be off to the side of the Sallyport and garage, and we can come take a look. We are inside the new booking room at the police department. This actually used to be the old lobby entryway of the school when it was here. I'll mention a couple things that helped us out again as we seek accreditation. Our bathrooms in the old part of the police department were just antiquated. They're older and didn't really meet ADA requirements. This bathroom does. It's kind of a unique bathroom. It's what you call a dry bathroom. We have the ability to actually shut the water off for the facilities inside. And we control that so that somebody might not be able to flush evidence or something of that nature. Again, other than that, it's just a normal bathroom. We have a little like stand workspace. We're going to keep this side of the building independent from the other side, other than being connected through electronics. But this connects with our system over there. But the officers will not need to leave this side of the police department, which is a big thing as far as safety. The original side will be more of an office space type thing. We won't be processing people that we have in custody over there. So this little workspace here is really where the officers are going to get the majority of what they need to do when we take somebody into custody done. And this will be a great help for us as well. We have the ability for 3 people in custody with this as well. Again, they're separated by site. Really nothing special. They're just benches where we can secure somebody. So again, they don't get up and leave on it. I have a small segment that Officer Fogg, our school resource officer, has done for you. He'll give you a little update as to what's going on in the schools, and again, COVID has impacted how he's going about business at the school as well. So I'll turn it over to Officer Fogg for a moment.
Hi, I'm Officer Fogg, Berwick Police Department. I'm the school resource officer for all the Berwick schools. I primarily work at the middle school right now, 46 Cranberry Meadow Road. This is my 13th year, going into my 14th year. The school's changed this year a little bit, obviously with COVID, everything going on, but all in all, the school's been going really smoothly for me. It's business as normal for the stuff that I do, a lot of remote stuff, so we end up doing a lot more school checks at home to kind of make sure the kids are following through and doing their responsibilities at home. It's been a good year so far. The school is taking the COVID-19 very seriously and putting all precautions forward for that. The staff has been amazing. The kids have been awesome. The parents have been very, very good this year. We've had a couple minor things with traffic at some of the schools with the extended number of drop-offs that we've had and pickups. But the school has adapted, and the parents have adapted, and the PD as well. So everything's going really smoothly this year. No complaints. Hopefully we continue to be able to go to school as long as we stay in the yellow zone and don't go to red. But yeah, so everything's going good this year. Thank you.
Last, we have Sergeant Kevin Ledoux. He's going to talk a little bit about the Virtua system, which was the training equipment that you purchased about a year ago for us. We've started to use that. It's been entered into our actual training as far as the department's concerned, and he's going to give you a demonstration on how that's going. And again, we thank you for that piece of equipment. It's been a great help to us.
All right. Hello, my name is Sergeant Kevin Ledoux with the Berwick Police Department. I'm the firearms training coordinator as well as use of force instructor here in the department. And what we're showing you today is the new Virtua training system that we have obtained for a little less than a year now. It's a pretty high-speed computer-generated training program that allows us to use all of our tools, our firearms, our taser, pepper spray, etc., in computer-generated scenarios so that officers can respond to and practice how to deal with scenarios that we might encounter during our job. The system's super awesome in the sense that it registers our responses to the scenario that's playing out, and officers respond accordingly, and the controller can adjust up or down how the person acts on the screen. You'll see that in some of the videos that'll be attached to it as well. The program is something that we try to do every other month or so here with all of our officers, and they're being trained on it constantly throughout the year, which is great that it's indoors, so during the winter weather we'll even be able to use it more. The program gets updated through the company on a yearly basis, so we're constantly getting new scenarios and training programs and things like that, which is fantastic to keep us updated on things that are changing during the course of a year or whatnot. What we're going to do at some point when we're able to, we'd like to invite all of you guys down to come down and try this out yourself. The program is something that can be used for civilians and government officials, and obviously at some point we're going to open it back up to other agencies, law enforcement agencies, so that they can come down and train as well. So once we can do that, we look forward to having you guys down, and I would just like to thank you and the Board of Selectmen as well, the town manager, for providing us with the funding to be able to have such an amazing program like this. Thank you. In this program, from what I understand, the Virtua system, I think there's only 1 or 2 in the state. There's other, they used to call them FATS machines, which are kind of a laser training simulator, but this is like light years above what those systems can do. So we even have a night vision program here, so officers are able to use flashlights, and the scenario on the screen will be dark, and they have to use their flashlight to illuminate it so we can simulate nighttime scenarios as well. No live ammunition, it's all laser simulated. We don't even allow ammo or anything like that in the room. Real guns, ammo, nothing like that's allowed in the room before guys even come in here. All of the tools, the firearms, the taser, the pepper spray, the flashlight, all operate on a laser program that's registered on the screen. So we can practice with our patrol rifles as well. Everything's taped up blue so that we know it's just non-lethal. There's no live ammo in here at all. It's just all strictly for the simulator. And so every time you pull the trigger, the pin here hits the laser emitter and it fires a laser that's registered on the screen. Same thing with the taser. These emit lasers out of each end of those, so that's registered on the screen. And the pepper spray, as well, as you can see, is just a laser emitter. Flashlight, there's nothing to show because it's just kind of it goes off of the camera when the flashlight becomes effective.
Well, thank you. My name's Dennis Plant. I'm the fire chief for the town of Berwick, and I'd like to take this opportunity before we do our virtual walkthrough. Unfortunately, we have to handle it this way right now because of the virus. But in any case, I'd like to thank the residents of the town of Berwick and the Board of Selectmen and the building committee for all their effort and time and support and fundraising to build a new facility, which is updated and will be for 40, 50 years down the road. And at that point, I would just like to say I'm standing in front of the main entrance of the new fire station. The road coming into the new entrance is the road that the Berwick PD used to use, and it's been renamed Public Safety Way. So with that, this is the main entrance to the new facility. We're open, we're functioning, and we really appreciate the town's effort in supplying this great building. Just to my left right here is a site that's not completed at this point, but it will be the site of Captain Joe Bond's memorial, which is being worked on right now in memory of Joel. With that, I would suggest that we take a walk around the building so that we can get a view of some of the specifics of the site itself. So, if you're willing, let's give it a shot. It's kind of chilly, but. This area here is the Sullivan Street side of the new station. We had built a road designated just for fire apparatus to have access out onto Sullivan Street. It's one way. So far, so good. It's worked out well for us. We have some traffic lighting that will be going out on Sullivan Street to help our emergency vehicles get out onto that portion of the road. This is the Sullivan Street side of the building. We have 4 bays. They're all drive-through. And we'll walk around to the other side so I can show you the Logan Street side. Now this area in here is what we call the Logan Street side. The Logan Street, the site was designed so that incoming staff could come in through Logan Street, come down the ramp, and then park in this parking area right here for the staff. Visitors would come in through the main lobby entrance, which we just spoke about on 3 Public Safety Way. But for mutual aid companies coming in to cover Berwick Station would be coming in off from Logan Street. This side here is the, I refer to it as the Berwick PD side of the building. Again, we have 4 bays which are drive-through. We have office areas to my left that you'll have a chance to see here shortly when we go inside. We have a training tower on the right-hand side, 3-story. That allows us, or will allow us, to be doing our in-house training, from emergency rescues to hose advancement, to anything that we need to do. We can actually do it right here in the station now. For incoming traffic that's come in Logan Street, and then the outgoing, as far as emergency vehicles, was designed for Sullivan Street. But this is the area our staff will show up in. They'll come in, they'll park, they'll go through this door. Once they come through the door, they'll take their temperature. That's part of our policy, check your temperature and mark it down so we'll have it for a record. Then they'll go into what we call the gear room. The gear room is where they store their PPE. They'll come into the room, they'll go to their locker, they'll pick up their gear, put the gear on, then they'll enter into the bay area and get on the apparatus that's getting ready to leave. This is actually the inside of the training tower that you just looked at from the outside. Again, it's 3 stories. Right now we're still moving stuff and squaring it away, but this is something that we've never had before, and it's really important when it comes to the training of our staff. We're going to walk down to the decon room. This is what we refer to as the gross decon room. If we have firefighters that go out, and they come back all dirty and gruddy, and they can come in here and actually get in a shower, wash themselves off, clean themselves off, take the gear off. And we have washers and dryers in here. That's a big washer dryer, and there's another big washer and dryer over there, where we clean our own PP right here and dry it and then put it back in service. I'm gonna go this way. We have a maintenance room where we can work on fire extinguishers, we can work on all kinds of equipment, chainsaws. Right now it's still kind of in a mess because we're just moving everything in, but that will be our work area. This is an air compressor that we fill our breathing air tanks with, the tanks we wear on our backs. Actually self-contained breathing apparatus. The system is like 4,000 PSI. Which saves time and effort because we can fill our own bottles right here. And right now, again, we're in the process of making some shelves and some other things in here. But This was, we obtained this through a grant several years ago, and it's worked out well for the town and the department. We have an emergency generator out on the side that's also controlled from inside here. And as you can see, we have, as I said, drive-through bays, which makes it a lot easier in getting vehicles in and out. We have inside hose lines that we can fill our trucks inside, or we can fill them outside with water when we get back. We have a big TV screen, as you can see, up on the wall. There's one there and there's one on the further end. And what that does is it lists, when a call comes in, it puts it up on that screen so anybody coming in can see what we got, where we're headed, and where we're going. So, and who's responding. We have an internal Primal vent system. But this system actually, these pipes and hoses actually go on the exhaust of the vehicles. When the vehicle starts, all the exhaust from that vehicle gets shuttled out to the outside of the building. As the truck leaves, this slides. And when you hear that noise, that releases from the truck exhaust system. And because I moved it, it came on. As you know, we run emergency medical calls. So we have a medical EMS supply room just for that. As far as the bay area, you can see what we have for apparatus. We have an older boat that we've had for a few years. Upstairs in the mezzanine is just basically storage at this point. And we have our radio two-way communications room on that second floor. Okay, let's take a walk in through the office area. We'll start out here in the kitchen area. This is a kitchen lounge area, kind of a small kitchen setup. Working out well so far because we've only been in here a couple of weeks. Lounge area, we're after hours. And we also have a table set up. And if you'll notice at the end of the table, we've had a chair designed for Captain Barnes, his own personal chair. All the lighting systems on motion sensors, so after a while they'll all go out on their own. Not only do we have to worry about cleaning our PPE that we wear to fire calls, we also have to worry about a lot of times cleaning our station uniforms. So there's a washer and dryer set up here so that they can also clean their uniforms if they need to. This room here is just a utility room. It's like the one I showed you over in the corner, only everything comes over here for this section is in here. Okay. I can't get in because the door's locked. Oh, I can. Yeah, hot water tank, fire alarm systems in here. Okay, on this side of the building, we have several different offices. This is the OIC office, daily officer in charge. We also have a fire prevention, which we've just spent quite a bit of time with fire prevention last month with the children in the schools, some of the schools. Fire prevention, we have our training here. We're our training officer. And our EMS coordinator, which the department, as we grow, I would suspect that both of those positions are going to end up growing. But right now, remember, this building was not only designed for today, but was designed for 20, 30 years down the road. So, to the left-hand side, right here, we'll walk through is the conference room. And the heat's on here. Conference room is also designed to be an emergency operating center in the event that we have a disaster or some type of major emergency where different town officials and agencies need to get together and talk about and plan what needs to be done. So it's not only a conference room, it's also an emergency operating center. This is the Department EMS Training Center. Right now I think it'll seat about 30 people, but we have screens up there. We also have a screen in the back on the wall for the instructor. We're going to get an opportunity here on Tuesday night, tomorrow night, to test its functions out and make sure everything's okay. Very nice, something we never really had. And now we're coming back out to the public safety way under the building, and we're going into the main lobby again. These are the front entrance doors on public safety way, public entrance. Right now in the lobby here, we have set up some history of the Berwick Fire Department with different appliances and tools. And we've also set up a little memorial for Captain Barnes until we can get his memorial in place and set up. At some point down the road, this lobby was designed so that we could actually bring in the Triumph hand tub. That's part of the history of the Berwick and the town of Berwick and the fire department. And that's going to be placed right here in this section of the lobby. So hopefully it'll be sooner than later. And that is a chair that was provided by Hussey Manufacturing in remembrance of Captain Barnes. So we have a public bathroom here, and we'll walk down through the other hall. This is the administrative assistant's office, Carly. She's in there working. This is record storage. You can look at it if you want. It's kind of like all messed up right now, but IT room, again, it's kind of messed up. It's where all our computers, all our phone lines come into from outside. Yep. My office, assistant chief's office. Okay, on this side of the building, which again would be the PD side, the back side, we have 4 bunk rooms, and in each bunk room there's 2 bunks where the staff can sleep. As you can see, one of them's already in here. Not now, but... And all 4 rooms are set up the same way. We have a woman's bathroom, and we have 2 men's bathrooms. I'll take a look at that on camera too, I guess. This is a group bunk room, and the reason why we have a group bunk room because we have major incidents going on, snowstorms, whatever the case may be, floods, where staff have to stay at the station. This allows them the opportunity to have some place to sleep while they're here. And in firefighting, it's always good to keep everybody's physical fitness up. So we installed a physical fitness room, which isn't being used at this point.
Standby for motor vehicle accident. That's being discussed on the air for Berwick Fire and EMS standby for a motor vehicle accident.
So we're waiting to get training done on this, which should be done within the next couple of weeks. And then the guys will be signing a waiver, then they can start using this site. This here is Firefighter Decon. They can actually get into here from this location. And what it's designed to do, that'll also take you out on the bay. What this is designed to do so that the guys come back and they're not all that dirty, they can come right off the truck right in here. There's a bathroom and shower, just like there is in the other. They can do that, get a change of clothes, and they don't take any dirty items into the office or the lounge area at all. Everything stays out here. So that's about it.
Back on, Terry? Okay. Well, those are the first two presentations that we've started on. They're going to be doing some others, for the different departments coming on later. Unfortunately, without having the chiefs here, we can't question them directly. But is a good idea of what went on at the public safety complex and how we've gone about things. So I think that's gone very well. So moving on. We have no appointments and presentations. No unfinished business. Is town manager's report.
We'll be talking to Great Falls tomorrow about their credit enhancement agreement. Each party had their own attorneys look at it, so we'll see what the recommendations are. Hopefully it works out for them. I think it's pretty generous, so I look forward to getting that behind us. Fire station and police station that you just saw, there's a laundry list of things that need to be taken care of, minor stuff that they just haven't got around to quite finishing. Getting the bell up on in the tower correctly. The bell's up there, but hasn't been hung yet. Little things like that. Some light sockets are not working, and there's a leak in one of the roofs. But I'm sure that Landry French will send somebody right out and take care of all the lists, and hopefully soon. Just a quick thing I'm not sure when we did the Pat and Paul Bovair American Spirit of America, but
back in July or August, whatever.
They have been recognized. They'll be getting recognized, or have been, by York County. They sent them a certificate, all framed up, and a letter thanking them for their community service and what they contribute to the town. We're finishing up some of the designs on the Diamond Hill Bridge. I just saw a draft of it today. So hopefully the final drawings will be done and we can plug that into the system when we have the matching funds, and the state has the matching funds to get they call it the Praise Bridge, but it's the Diamond Hill Bridge. And Ridland Road Bridge will be next, but we won't be funding that for a while. That's all I have for now. Everybody's being safe and being very, very careful with the COVID, following the rules, and we've been very fortunate so far. So I thank the staff for all the work they're doing. That's all I have.
Any communications for Steve? Any questions for Steve? No. Is Steve? I just wanted to, if you could give us an update about where we are for the recreation director. I know that there's an ongoing search, but it is something that we hope to get going. And when we do get a recreation director, I think we need to sit down with all the parties involved, all the organizations involved, and figure out where we're going with this because of the confusion that we had this fall.
Yeah.
So.
We have interviewed 4 people in the last couple of weeks. I have made an offer to one person. I'm waiting to hear back from them. I'm very excited. They have a lot of experience. They have worked in Maine for quite a few years, left the state to do some work down in Massachusetts, but she was anxious to get back to Maine, and we're anxious hopefully to get her on board. We're looking at bringing her on in January, so we can gear up for the coming programs and things like that. I have told all the groups, I've sat in on several recreation committee meetings, and some of the parties from soccer, football, baseball, and cheering have all sat down, and once we have that person in place and she's had a chance to get acquainted with everything that we do, we're planning on meeting and having some good, healthy conversations about how we do things here and hopefully make some improvements. But I'm excited to hopefully have her on board, and she'll be jumping right into it. So we'll be ready for summer and maybe some of the winter programs, but she's excited.
Thank you. Selectmen's communications, I did get a notice from Comcast. It looks like there's basically across the board increases. They said that they'll be sending it out with all their billing, so anybody that has it will already have the information. And we also got the official notice from the county commissioners regarding the prime storage. We went to the appeals, and as they found in our favor, so that's a good thing. And that brings us to accounts payable. We have payroll warrant number 31 from November 19th, 2020, for the amount of $74,452.36. Account payable warrant number 32 for November 24th, 2020, for the amount of $561,778.42. And we have a payroll warrant number 33 for November 25th, 2020, for the amount of $69,791.84. As I'll make a motion to pay the bills. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? If not, I'll go through the roll. Is Ed?
Yes.
Noah?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
And myself is yes. 4-0, Patty. It brings us to our new business, the memorandum of understanding.
You've all had a chance to read that. This is a York County Police Departments put these together. The York County managers, we meet once a month virtually. We've all agreed that we think it's a good policy. I just need your blessing to have the police chief sign off on it, if everybody's okay with that. I think it's with what we're going through with the pandemic, it's a good step to make sure each community has coverage, just in case we have one department that goes down, we can help them out.
Basically, it's the same as the mutual aid that all the fire departments have.
Exactly,
Basically,
it's not much different, no.
The only difference is, it's law enforcement rather than public safety. Any questions of Steve? No? Is looking for a motion to accept?
So moved.
We have a motion, we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
And the chief has already looked at this.
Yeah, the chief was actually one of the people that sat in and developed it. So he thinks it's a really good document and covers everybody, each community quite well for costs and things like that. So pretty much like what we do with fire, like Tom said.
Yeah, it looks good to me. I just want to make sure he had eyes on it.
Don't need further discussion. I'll go through the roll. Is Ed?
Yes.
Noah?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
And myself is a yes. Thank you. And COVID-19.
Patty, do you know what this is? Because I don't recall this. I think we're looking at our pandemic policy, and I think with the changes that the governor made, we're going to be presenting a different version just to bring it up to date.
Okay.
I think that's all it was.
All right.
I've been out for a few days.
It's just an update.
Yeah.
Yeah, you haven't seen anything from upstairs, so I'll get it for the next meeting.
All right. I'm just going to make the comment that, obviously, things are starting to look really scary out there. Maine is very fortunate that, that we have as low a transmission rate as we do, but I think everybody just needs to be cautious and, think about what you're doing, because, hopefully with the vaccines, before too long, we can almost get back to normal.
Yeah, it would be nice. Just to make sure everybody has a safe holiday and listens to what Dr. Fauci is telling people, and try to follow the rules so everybody's safe. Skowhegan just lost a retired fire chief to COVID-19. He's 62 years old.
Yeah.
So it's doesn't seem to
Doesn't care.
decide who gets
Doesn't
it,
care.
who doesn't.
All right. We have no quitclaim deeds or installments, no abatements. We have no public comment. We do have an executive session, but before we get to that, is there any other business or non-agenda items any of the member of the board would like to bring up? No? All right. I'm going to make a motion that we go into an executive session under Title I, subsection 405, 6C, the acquisition of real estate property. I will say that this is for information only. There will be no votes or anything taken, so we will not be coming back into official session after the executive session. So with that is, I'll go through the roll. I guess I need a second.
Second.
All right. I'll go through the roll. Is Ed?
Yes.
Noah?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
And myself is a yes. All right. We'll give Terry a few minutes to sign off and get us off the air, and then we'll continue with it.